The binomials x plus y and x minus y are called conjugates. Conjugates are a pair of binomials whose product is equal to the difference of squares. So the conjugate product, x plus y times x minus y, is x squared minus y squared. The numbers a plus bi and a minus bi are called complex conjugates. Complex conjugates are a pair of complex numbers whose product is equal to the sum of squares. So the complex conjugate product is a plus bi times a minus bi gives us a squared minus b squared I squared equals a squared plus b squared. Important, the product of complex conjugates is a real number. Multiply the complex conjugates. Alright, so we're going to use FOIL here, but we get to skip a step, which is very nice. Actually, two steps. First, we multiply the first times the first, 9. But then we know that the next two numbers are going to cancel out. So 3 times negative 2i is negative 6i. 2i times 3 is positive 6i. So we see right there, these two cancel. So we can skip these in the future. The final step would be 2i times negative 2i, which is negative 4i squared. I squared is negative 1, which means this is 9 minus 4 times negative 1. So this will equal 13 because it's 9 plus 4. So in this one, we'll skip the two middle steps, and we have 4 times 4 is 16 minus 3i times 3i, which is 9i squared. This becomes positive 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. 1 times 1 is 1. And then we have negative 6i times positive 6i, so negative 36i squared. I squared is negative 1, making this positive 36. So 1 plus 36 is 37. And there we go. We see all of our answers are real numbers. When dividing two complex numbers, multiply the numerator and denominator by the conjugate of the denominator and simplify. So we have a plus bi over c plus di. We're going to multiply this by c minus di over c minus di. Then we'll get the sum of the squares here. So a plus bi times c minus di over c squared plus d squared. Alright, so dividing complex numbers involves conjugate multiplication. So we have 3 plus I over 1 minus 2i. So we're going to multiply this by 1 plus 2i over 1 plus 2i. So that's the conjugate of the denominator. That will give us, so we're going to do FOIL here. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus 3 times 2i, which is 6i, plus I times 1, which is I, plus I times 2i, which is 2i squared, divided by, so this would be 1 times 1, which is 1. Skip the two middle steps since we are multiplying this by its conjugate. So then we just have minus 4i squared, and this whole bottom portion is just going to be 5. But we'll do that in the next step. So I squared here is negative 1, so this becomes negative 2, plus 3 is positive 1, plus 7i divided by 5. Since we have I squared here, so that's negative 1, so that makes this positive 4 plus 1. And that's our answer. Once we get to this point, you can simplify further by just separating the fractions. So 1 over 5 plus 7 over 5. So that will give you 0.2 plus 1.4i.